movie fans? Welcome to Cold and Trash Horror Movie Grinding Podcast. I am your host, Ian. This is the show in which we grind on the absolute worst horror and sci-fi movies we can find and make fun of just how bad they are, as well as praise the good cult classics that have been lost throughout time. Now get ready, because we're about to dive real deep inside of Hollywood's dumpster in search of the good, the so bad it's good, and the fucking ugly. Now put on your seatbelt, grab a beer or two, and enjoy the show. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Today we are doing one of my favorites for a long time, Mandy. The 2018 instant cult classic, Cagespolitation Nic Cagespolitation, midnight movie, just instant cult classic. Like I said, it's fantastic. I've had unhealthy obsession on this movie for a long time, and I finally get to talk about it. I've been wanting to do this one ever since I started the show, since my last show, actually, my last podcast, Movies So Bad They're Good. But I've just had so much for, on my plate for a while that I never got to it until now. So here we are. Very brutal movie. Came out in 2018 by director Panos Cosmatos. I probably mispronounced that. This is his second film, followed by Beyond the Black Rainbow, and that is a trip. Like, if you think that this movie is a trip, Beyond the Black Rainbow is something absolutely insane. Very, very amazing visuals. Very slow paced film. It's not for everybody. Just like this movie's not for everybody. And that's who I have here. Guests today. I have definitely not everybody. We've got a span of people. Some people like it, some people don't like it, some people kind of like it, some people not sure if they like it. But yeah, let's bring them out. Let's start with the two people who have seen this before. Bree's back. A long time no see.
Yeah, it's been a minute, my fellow cheddar goblin.
Hell yeah. It's funny. I thought this was funny that last time you were on here, you disliked the movie, which was Existence, and then you haven't been back for like a month since. I don't
I
want
know.
anybody to think that I just like kicked you off the show,
I
but
mean, that
you've
is
just been busy.
no. That is totally the reason. I've been having a lot of things going on in the past month and a half. New digs, vacation, COVID, you
Yeah.
name it, I'm there.
And congratulations.
Thank you very much. For just to give like reference, since most of the world doesn't know. I'm bringing another B movie lover into the world.
Awesome. Nice pun there too.
Yes, thank you.
Because well, your name is Bree, but online on like Facebook and stuff, your name is B.
It is.
So
Yep.
that's a great pun. I love that.
I
Uh,
try.
when was the first time you've seen this?
Okay, so the first time I saw this was thanks to the group, the movie's So Bad They're Good, and the day this came out, I swear we got like 25 submissions for Mandy,
Yeah,
like in the span of an hour. Kind of put it off for a week after like we discussed it, and then finally I was like, okay, I guess I gotta watch this to see what the hype is. And oh boy, I saw
yeah,
what the hype was.
right. So you like this movie?
I like it. I wouldn't say it's like my favorite of the cage exploitations, but I definitely do like it.
Okay, that's fair. Like I said, it's it's something. It's
Yeah.
like you love it or you hate it or you're confused by it, and I don't know. I
Yeah.
love it. I said that earlier. Yeah. Yeah. For those who don't know, me and Bree, we run a Facebook group called "Movies So Bad They're Good: Midnight Cool Classics in Camp," and yeah, that group blew up the day this came out. It really became an instant cult hit, and I
Absolutely.
saw it very shortly after, and I was like, "Fuck yeah!" It was a midnight film too. I remember it came out for like a week, at least here. I don't know everywhere else, but here in Austin, it was like a couple midnight screenings at Alamo Drafthouse. So it's an actual midnight movie, which is
Right.
awesome. That those are even still a thing.
Yeah.
Let's bring out somebody else. You all know Johnny Blackburn from
Oh,
I
hey
Don't
there.
Give a Flick podcast.
I did forget to ask you earlier. Did we get the copyright on this yet? Are we okay to? We don't have to put it there, right? We're good. Nike's cool with it. Okay, just making sure. I just
We'll find out.
I know you're in tight with the upper management, so I was just curious.
Right.
Dude, I mean, this movie's just such a trip, dude. I watched it that one time last summer when I was on the trip. And remember I was telling you when I started that trip, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try and open myself up to more art house kind of absurdist type films, a little more surrealist than I'm used to. So, gave Mandy a shot. Pleasantly surprised. I mean, you remember you and I talked about it when I saw it first and stuff. Yeah, man. I just remember because I checked that out and I hadn't really been privy to any of the Cagespolitation or Nic Cagespolitation films at that time outside of, when he was really popular in the 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah, those count.
Yeah.
Not the
same Face Off and Con Air and all
Vampire's Kiss, of course.
Yeah. Oh, well, no, actually, I haven't seen that one.
What?
No, I haven't. I've never even heard of it, actually, to be quite honest with you.
A while ago, I had both of y'all on here when we did Color Out of Space.
Yeah,
my favorite.
Which is the same production company, Specter Vision.
Mm-hmm. Talk about. I mean, because I was reading up on them because you had mentioned it was Elijah Wood's company, right? And so just checking it out and stuff, and really, dude, I kind of felt like he almost kind of peaked really, really young, and I thought this was an insanely intelligent and savvy business move on his part to create a production company, indie style, keep it low cost.
Oh, yeah.
Somehow find this deal with Cage, get these directors from Europe and these really these obscure directors from here in the States, and keep it cheap, keep it in the psychological thriller horror genre, and just play to the masses because we've talked about it a million times on both our shows, just how well horror sells. It's cheap to make. And, I mean, what was it on this? I think Cage, I think was paid like $1.5 million or something like that out of the $6 million budget. And they still did a great job with the special effects. Like it didn't really hinder them in any way.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. SpectreVision is really good with that stuff. Like we did Color Out of Space. There's a lot of other movies. Cooties, Daniel Isn't Real, Arch Enemy, Greasy Strangler. Bunch of stuff.
That's another trip of a movie.
Right. Yeah. Well, anyway, I have some other guests, so we'll get back to SpectreVision a little bit later. Let me bring in somebody else who hasn't been here in a while. My old co-host and showrunner of my original podcast that I first did, Movies So Bad They're Good. Seth Myers is back from Who's Next podcast. Welcome back, man.
Well, like to say, as a representative of Nike, you're gonna have to take that fucking shirt off, sir. You can take it off. There you go. Or
I can go all the way. I mean, you're the representative from Nike.
Now, if you're gonna keep it on, you gotta turn the camera off. But if I hear you say check mark and I hear you say Nike, legal will be in touch. Do you understand?
You guys copyrighted check mark. Damn.
Yes.
The word check mark.
Yes.
Oh, he said it. God damn it.
Check mark. That's
hey, I don't have to pay it. It's Ian and the
your
producer,
camera's still on, sir. Your camera's still on. Your shirt's still on. I want to see a shirtless Johnny, or I want to see a blank screen.
I can show you a nipple. That's what I can offer.
Not good enough. The
That's
check
what I
mark.
can offer.
I got a nipple and a check mark, and it ain't gonna work,
right.
sir.
Get your ass out of here. Just go. Just get to Stephens, son.
No, it was good. I'm it's Who's Next podcast. Still rocking that, so I'll do my quick plug right there. But thank you, Ian. Yes, we've been doing it for a while back in the past, and you have been cranking it solo. My son, my prodigy. I've let you out in the wild, and look what you've done. Look what you've done.
Yeah, man. Definitely. I learned everything I did from Seth and Johnny too by being a guest on his show.
No, you'll learn how to get sued from Johnny. Don't take don't.
Hey man, it's all about blaming other people.
But yeah, Seth, I definitely learned everything. If you listen to some of our old shows on So Bad It's Good, Seth is more like me, like running the show, having like segments, and then there's me who's just like constantly just derailing the conversation. I was another person.
Nah, it was always good having you on, man. The old crew was still good. It's still good, for sure.
By the way, I recently started talking to Nikolai. Hit me up.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I still think I still got him on my Facebook. I see him post from time to time. That's
Yeah,
great.
I've been trying to get him back on here, but with the time
Okay.
difference and delay, and
Oh, yeah, it's
he's
rough.
not as available as he was back then. He lives in Sweden.
Yeah.
So,
That's good.
but
Talk
anyway, Mandy.
Yeah.
So I was like, I was thinking, man, I miss Seth. I want to get him back on here. And I'm doing Mandy. I was like, he probably won't like this, but it's a crazy Nic Cage movie. So I don't know. And then here you are.
Yeah, total dog shit, man. This movie's awful.
You really think so? Like,
No, I
completely?
don't. I'll say this. I actually think this movie is like what y'all said, well made. The effects and everything were good. I think there's a lot of positives with this. But there's a point in the movie that I guess I wish it turned. I don't know if we're getting to that point to talk into the details of it, but there's a point where I wish it turned and it didn't exactly the way I thought. And I don't know, it just didn't really sit with me well. And like I felt like I got it. There are some elements of it I'm pretty sure I missed because it is one of those kind of weirder, feels a little more like an artsy type movie, which I mean, pros and cons to whoever, but it just and also I'm kind of almost burnt out with crazy Nic Cage. It's fun and I had fun seeing that, but it feels like more and more movies now are like, do the crazy, Nick, do the crazy. And he's like, ah! You get that? It's like, there's so much of that you get that it's to the point where it's like, okay, and like, to each his own. Like for some people, I can see if this is like, especially younger generations, this is their first time experiencing a Nic Cage film. I think they'll have a lot more fun with it. For me, I do understand why this is cult classic and why you had so many people like, oh, Mandy in your group and stuff. Like for sure, I get it. I'm not here to shit on it, but it's just I wasn't taken with it. I'll put it that way.
Not your flavor. Okay,
I'll explain more when we get a little more into it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I definitely wanted to, since this movie is so like polarizing, I guess. I definitely wanted to get different point of views on here, so I appreciate you joining in, and we'll talk about all that. I do have one more person to bring in. He's been in a lot of recent episodes. The other Ian and Nicole.
What's going on, y'all? Hey, Seth, man. If you taught Ian all that stuff, man, couldn't you teach him to get a decent internet connection, dude? Looking like a pixelated Bob Ross.
That you can only buy that.
I don't know. Yeah, my internet sucks.
No, you look better now, actually. To be honest, maybe it's because you're smaller. I don't know, but
yeah.
Oh no, there you go. Yeah. No, keep it small. It helps. So,
anyway.
Mandy. This is my first time seeing Mandy. Not my first Nic Cage movie, obviously, but yeah, I was kind of. It felt like a little bit of a drag at the beginning. It was pretty slow, real slow burn.
That's definitely the main criticism it gets.
But I think I was kind of, after watching the whole thing, I think I was kind of started out watching it wrong because it's more to be experienced like an album. I think it gives you a sense of synesthesia as well, like when you see the sounds and hear the colors, that was something I felt from it. But
it's a ride. It's like a lazy river ride, but so much more metal. And gory.
But quite vacant on drums through the majority of the soundtrack as well. Very metal, but very low key.
I want to actually bring that up, and I guess now is a good time to do that. The score is a very metal, very like loud, heavy distorted guitars, but no drums. That The interesting thing is that the guitarist who recorded all that, he comes from a band called Sun, which is a drone doom metal band, which is 3 guitarists, I think, and no drum. And so you have the subgenre of doom metal, which is very heavy, slow paced, very slow tempo. Then you have its own subgenre called drone metal, which is even slower and more hypnotic and ambient, and that's what Sun is. And that they actually sound a bit like this.
I thought it was pronounced Sun O. Is it not Sun O?
No, the spelling is SUNNO, and then parentheses.
Okay, I
It's,
pronounce the O. I don't pronounce the parentheses. Is that?
It's just Sun.
It's just Sun.
Yeah, the O is silent.
Thanks for saving me from an embarrassing time at the Sun show.
Right. So this is it. As you can see, this is a hour and 37-minute concert. Let's skip ahead to 18 minutes.
It's perfect for talking over.
Yeah.
So is the O parentheses, is that just like a smiley face then?
It's like I think it's like a visual of just the feedback. But yeah, this is it. If you go to a Sun concert, this is what you're getting.
Yeah, I don't know about this concert at all, but I will say that I actually enjoyed the way they use music in this movie. I'll say that I thought that was well done.
Yeah.
I really liked the parts where it kind of came in and
I loved it.
Scenes.
They got one of the guitarists from that band and had him record that. I loved it so much, especially like in the end of the movie where he's just like on his rampage and he's going to like down into like the bunker area or the church or whatever, and you just hear that. It really fits the theme and the everything. So yeah, that's definitely one thing I love about this movie, because I'm a huge metalhead. I'm a huge doom metalhead. Like I fucking love doom metal. So when I watched this movie, I was just like, yes, this is just like everything I love. I love the metal, the doom. I love the gore.
You're wearing a Black Sabbath shirt. I mean, we get it.
Exactly. And so did Mandy. Did Mandy.
She had a Sabbath shirt. Yeah. The other media introduced. Did y'all look up any of those books she was reading?
I think some of them were made up for the movie.
Were they? Just like these real bands and made up books?
Yeah. Well, actually, another thing I wanted to point out was Jeremiah's recording that he played for her. They actually, like, that wasn't real, but they made it real. That, like, you could buy his record and listen to that, like, that folk, like, Jeremiah's dad was a hell of a man, or whatever.
Dude, they made it even worse than Manson.
Yeah.
You know?
Which, this is definitely, like, kind of a very Manson-esque thing. Before we get into all that, let's play the trailer. I've got that right here.
Pale sky, the wretched warlock reached into the dark embrace. His fist closed around the serpent's eye. Strange and eternal.
I need you to get me that girl I saw. You know what to do. You're a special one, Mandy. I, too, am a special one. Let us be so very special together.
So what you gonna do with that thing?
I'm going hunting.
So what you hunting?
crazy evil.
Yo, that was Bill Duke, though, man.
You think you're so in love? I'll show you love.
Exist in its own supremely unnerving dimension.
You exceeded cosmic darkness.
It glowed from within, strange and eternal.
My chainsaw's longer than yours. Coming soon.
That's soon.
Fun fact: the director, his father, I don't remember what his name. I probably should have come prepared, but he directed. Damn it! I really should have come prepared. All right. Yeah,
Hold on, I got it right here, Ian. Let me just so that his father directed I wish I did, man.
Godfather, right?
That'd be good.
No, but Johnny,
Really?
I know that you'll like this once I find out what it is.
All right.
But
I'll figure it out.
Wait, while Ian's IMDbing this, can we just touch on the fact that we saw Bill Duke in that that trailer, and he was he's of course known for his incredible role in Predator, as well as Mr. Charles in Sister Act 2 Back in the Habit,
absolutely.
which is one of the best films of all time.
Dude,
personally, one of my top
such
five.
a treat when
sequel,
when he shows up. You're like, oh shit, that guy, hell yeah,
Yeah, dude.
He's like,
I know.
He plays
First
roles.
Lauryn Hill and then him. Like Sister Act 2 is the best sequel ever. Honestly, way better than Sister Act 1.
He plays roles where he just shows up and you're like, oh shit, it's that guy. Like
it's that guy, just like it's that director, right?
His father.
Menace to Society. He shows up and you're like, oh shit. But Tombstone is the movie I was thinking of.
Oh, okay.
The guy who directed Tombstone. This is his son.
Really?
What a departure.
Yeah, that's definitely. Yeah, talk about apple fell really far from the tree. Okay.
This movie kind of has something to do with that. So he died. The director of Tombstone. His name is George P. Cosmatos. He died, and then his son Panos made the movie Beyond the Black Rainbow, which is like kind of him dealing with his frustration of loss and being without a parent, which is some themes in that movie. And then Mandy is like his dealing with that loss, and so it's like kind of the two movies that they really go pretty well together. Beyond the Black Rainbow is less like metal and gory and stuff, but more psychedelic and way longer pace. So much slower than Mandy is. If you guys think Mandy is slow, Beyond the Black Rainbow is makes Mandy look like fucking Speed.
Run.
That's
Speed
the
Run.
only thing I can think of. No, Speed, the movie about the bus with the bomb.
Oh God, that movie made me nauseous.
You meant the drug or the
I get what you meant, Ian. The movie Speed, it moves fast. It's a fast paced plot. I get it. You're drawing the comparison. Good job.
Another fun fact. Did any of you recognize the guy who played Jeremiah, the actor?
Mm-mm.
He is Thomas Wayne in Batman Begins.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Looks familiar.
I'd have to go back and watch Batman Begins again.
And the guy who kills Thomas Wayne in Batman Begins is also in this movie. He's the chemist who does who creates the acid. So I thought that was fun.
Do Do you think they knew that before they went into it, or they showed up on set? We're like, hey,
Hey, man.
well, I remember you.
They're not in any scenes together.
Well, they
But-
might have been at craft
true.
services at the same time, or you never know. Just because they weren't in scenes together doesn't mean they didn't like rub elbows walking.
Depends if they were filming the 2 scenes on the same day. Yeah,
Mm.
they very
Right.
well might have. Was there? It doesn't say on Google or anything if there's like a connection, like I don't know, like one of the assistant directors or something, or one of the
I
production
don't know.
companies said Batman Begins
I
also
can't
did.
find it. No, I
Link
don't know, I
them to
haven't seen
Elijah
it.
Wood. I bet you can link them both to Elijah
Yeah,
Wood somehow.
6
with,
degrees
like,
of Elijah Wood, right?
There
Yeah.
we go.
Scoot over, Kevin Bacon.
So Seth, since you so your main thing about this is that it's like too slow paced, too, like kind of artsy.
No, actually, that didn't bother me at all. Even
Okay.
some of the artsy stuff, I'm okay with. I guess I wanted a different movie. I don't know. I mean, so I'm a fan of stuff like revenge type movies. You know,
Right. That's
I really,
definitely
I mean,
what
one of my
this is to its
favorite
core.
comic book characters is Punisher. I like him, and that's his shtick right there. Different things like that stick with me. There was a point in the movie where like everything is kind of slow and methodical, and you could tell, you know, it's definitely supposed to be drug induced, but in some points it really presented itself like some of the religious aspects of this stuff was real. For instance, he found her through a dream, it seems. From what I got, unless I just missed that, or was she just walking in the woods?
Yeah.
Oh,
she was
Jeremiah.
just walking.
Yeah, she was
Oh,
walking.
and they
Like a
so
stroll?
that's how they saw her.
They're-
Okay, because
I mean,
Just
he
wide
was
eyes.
probably tripping balls.
the way it kept like clipping, the way it kept clipping through, I almost felt like she was in a dream or something.
It
because
was
they
a
kept
very
showing these
dreamlike.
scenes where they were sleeping together and stuff, but I could have
Uh,
missed something on that.
No, that
But
was that's a
and
good
also
point.
when they do the whistle and the guys come out in the four wheelers and all the kind of
Yes.
armor garb and everything, there were elements of it that felt like, oh, maybe some of this stuff is like real, because they had this demonic type
Oh,
of
very much so.
look
Oh
to
well, that's an easy to explain reality. See, they were using super LSD. And the
Mm.
super
Yeah.
LSD gave them superpowers, and then when Nic
Gotcha.
Cage got some, he got superpowers.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah,
Well, my
you know.
point was, what I was
Well-
hoping was, it was so like, I'm gonna use an example. So, Hereditary,
Mm.
right? Have you ever seen that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, Johnny hates
Unfortunately,
it.
I really liked Hereditary.
I know. Tons of my friends did. Yeah.
Another polarizing movie there.
Yeah, I did. So one of the things about Hereditary is the whole movie, you don't realize that this is like a cult thing until like the very end, and then the fact that it's actually a real cult, like it's real.
Yeah.
So the whole time I was thinking maybe this is like a real cult thing, and these things are real. And then when Nic Cage says he gets those weapons and he has that scene where it's still kind of the whole movie's kind of building in this kind of flow. And that scene almost stops and he's like, it's a bunch of crazy fucking people doing this shit and whatever. And I was like, oh, so it's not real and he's going to fuck them all up. Okay, that's interesting. And he's just going to destroy through them. But then he ends up taking the drugs and flowing, and it kind of flows in that state where I was hoping he was this kind of point that was against all that kind of craziness that built through. And like where Hereditary, the reason I bring that up is like, it's actually real. In this one, it was like a flip on it where it's like, it's actually not. And it's this revenge movie that like pops in at this end point. So I don't know. I was hoping it was that. I didn't really understand why he started taking the drugs and doing them. I guess because they're all on drugs, including
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
I don't know.
Well-
Because it felt like he had some kind of different backstory from everybody. And so I guess that was what I was hoping. And it just felt a little almost aimless, if that makes sense. And I guess, and maybe I just misinterpreted the movie, and, you know, fine. It just, to me, I guess when that scene happened, it even all stops. And he's like, oh, there's a bunch of fucking crazy religious nuts and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, like this is going to be interesting, because then it would be interesting to see him pick apart their religion as being so stupid as he came through and just murdered them all. And I thought that would have been interesting. And I felt like instead he kind of became part of it in a sense. I mean, even at the end, he tells him, "I am your
Yeah,
God."
absolutely.
And
Yeah,
so
he
just
he
kind of
definitely
joined in with
became
it.
one of them.
Where
for
I
sure.
thought it would have been more interesting if he would have picked apart that religion. So I don't know.
I like that. That would be an interesting way to go, but I do at the same time. I do like the way they did go with him becoming one of them.
But I would say, look,
it-
it's all well done. I didn't think the slowness of it bothered me. I enjoyed
Okay.
the music of it. It really had a thematic element to it. Like it really felt like it kind of gripped you in. And I don't know. I didn't find that dull, or that was my reasoning. It just, I felt like, to me, there was a better direction this movie could have gone, and it just kind of disappointed me. That, and then I think they also leaned into Nic Cage's crazy, and I think that's becoming more of a hindrance for Nic Cage, because I think these directors get a hold of him, and they're just like, do the thing, and I think maybe they need to start like, you know what, Nic Cage, yeah, you've done that. Let's do something different with you, and kind of push him in a different direction. I don't think. And this
Have you
movie
seen the new Nic Cage movie?
The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen that one yet.
They went with a different direction with that. Like what you're talking about, they did go that different direction.
Pig went a different direction as well.
Pig went a really different direction.
Yeah.
But that's my take on it. So
but Seth, were you talking about with why he would do the LSD out of nowhere? I think it's kind of the breadcrumbs are there for you to infer that that Nic is a recovering alcoholic in this film.
That's true.
What normal person has a giant unopened bottle of vodka hidden on the bottom shelf in the bathroom underneath the towels, right?
Yeah.
And it didn't show him drinking at all when he was with his girlfriend. Right?
Actually, in the very intro, when the King Crimson song is playing, and he's with his work buddies at the end of the shift, they offer him a beer, and he's like, "No."
I will say this though.
Oh, I missed that. Yeah.
I will say this though. My wife actually used to work in a drug program for government and stuff. So she's dealt with a lot of alcoholics and drug addicts. And there's a clear different line from alcoholics and drug addicts. They actually look at each other differently. They have different perspectives of each other. They don't always blend. And so just because he's an alcoholic doesn't mean he would fuck around with some weird shit in somebody's room.
Oh, no. I think what it's saying is an alcoholic is one dead spouse away from turning to
maybe
LSD.
so, and maybe so. And look,
he also did a bunch of cocaine too.
Yeah, he did.
I think it was like,
and then he took a taste of that. I guess the acid.
He probably wasn't even expecting to live through this. He was just like, I've got nothing to lose. I'm just going to go fucking all the way.
Well, my interpretation of it was I really didn't see. I get what you're saying. I'd agree. Breadcrumbs were there to show his alcoholism, but I don't know if that always leads to being like strangely involved with some really weird drug stuff too, like the jar of shit just there, and then just snorting cocaine off the glass. Like, I get you're ready to throw your life away maybe because you're lost. I don't know. I don't feel like it's to each his own in this interpretation. I don't think yours wrong, but for me, I didn't feel like it was enough there to verify that. So.
Oh, well, it also gives me hard MK Ultra vibes too, with the way that they can militarize the use of LSD. I think that's a brilliant.
I think that's what they were leaning into.
Beyond the Black Rainbow is a little bit more of that direction.
MK Ultra don't spoil it for me, okay?
Oh, that's all.
Now I can't watch Hereditary. I already know how it ends.
So how did you feel about the part in the bathroom where he starts freaking out? Because that's most people who love this movie, that's like their favorite scene.
Raise your hand if you didn't laugh.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's not right. Fucking hilarious.
A little bit chuckled. Yeah.
I loved it.
He tried, but
it should be the most touching.
He goes through so many emotions to that scene. I have it right here actually. So
I love the whitey tighties.
Yeah.
Halloween costume.
That's right. You can pull it off.
It looks like he's got
the wallpaper too. Is awesome.
It looks like he's got something. It looks like he's stuffing a little bit, doesn't it? Like he's got a little like you can't see much outline.
Huh.
Do you notice that, or is it just like what's going on down there? You know, because is it just underwear? I feel like he's got something underneath it too.
Do you think that's actual vodka? Like, is he actually chugging vodka, or
That's the easiest thing to fake, dude. That's definitely water.
Yeah. Especially if he was pouring it on wounds. There's no way.
Well, the wounds aren't real, also.
Right.
But if it was actual alcohol, it would wash the paint away for the the special effects, right?
Yeah.
See, once this part in the scene hit, this part seemed genuine and authentic to me. I wasn't really laughing in this area. I was laughing when he was like going up, like an octave at a time. With
yeah, that was
but yeah, that is an amazing scene with lots of different emotions, and yeah, laughter is part of it because I mean we know that it's not real and it's Nic Cage just being Nic Cage. So you're like,
well,
okay,
touching on Seth's point, it's like it seemed like the director was okay. Now do the Nic Cage thing, and then they recorded that. You know?
Absolutely.
And look, the Nic Cage thing is good, and like I said, people will enjoy it, especially if you're not as familiar. And look, I enjoyed it for what it was, but again, it's just like, when that scene happened, I was like, yeah, here's the part. Like this is what
you definitely make a good point. Yeah. I wonder how he himself feels about that. I mean that's what he's good at.
Well, he compared filming this movie to something like when he was a kid using Super 8 in the backyard. That they were filming it just for the love of it, not for the ability to make money or to go out and get awards or Oscars. But the funny thing is, I didn't know he took like fucking 40% of the budget. What was that, Johnny?
$1.5 million. Yeah, out of the 6. Crazy. Or 1.4 or something. Yeah, something around
there. Yeah, that's like, come on,
crazy.
Man.
Yeah, that's
that reminds me of the Street
little
Fighter
spiel
movie.
doesn't.
Did y'all know about the Street Fighter movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Yeah.
I think the budget was like, if I remember right, I want to say it was about I want to say it was 30 some odd million for the budget. And Jean-Claude Van Damme and Raul Julia each took 8 million. So half the budget went to 2 actors, and the other half of the budget went to the rest of the movie.
Wait, Jean-Claude Van Damme and who?
Raul, I think, did I say the name wrong? I'm sorry. M. Bison.
No, I don't.
I'm sure you played M. Bison.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure you said it right. I recognize that. He played Gomez Adams, didn't he?
Yeah.
Same guy, right?
Yep.
That guy could garner that much money at like equal footing with Jean-Claude Van Damme at one point.
When we covered it in Losing Lives, it was in the facts that they paid them. I want to say they paid them 8 million each, or maybe the fact was 16 million went to those 2 actors, so maybe it was different. It's been a while since I covered that, but I do remember that fact that half that budget went to 2 actors.
Okay, that makes more sense.
The rest of the movie.
That is a pretty.
I bet you Jean-Claude got a little more than 8. I'm gonna go out on a limb.
Maybe so.
That was like Bloodsport kickboxer era. He could do no wrong. He was cameoing in Friends and shit. You know.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
You know? So, but hey, who's taking it off the rails now? Ian. Let's talk about Mandy.
Well, what did y'all think about where you don't see the movie title? We finished the intro 2/3 the way through the movie.
The movie title shows up like an hour in, and it splits it very well.
Absolutely.
2 acts for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and actually, it's really 3 because it starts out with a different title. I forgot what it said, but it was
Welcome
like
to Silver Melvin.
Something about the woods or something.
And then shortly after, it was the Children of the New Dawn when we're introduced to the cult, and then when he picks up the axe thing, and we see that badassness. Then it goes,
you said you felt it was 3 acts. What did you feel was the middle act?
It's the Children of the New Dawn. So when we're introduced to the hippies, to the cult, and then they like do their whole thing, and they not kidnap them, but
okay. I guess I was concerned that part of the first act, and then once he went through that,
the
recovery from the trauma.
A regular film in time wise, it is the first act, but like that's when it shows Children of the New Dawn, and then you see that up until he makes his axe, and then it says Mandy, and then after Mandy is where he goes on his rampage. But then what did you all think about when he was forging that axe? Like, I was just like, man, it was so cool.
Yes. Yeah.
How many masculine things can we throw into one movie for Nic Cage to accomplish?
True, good point. But I love the music going on, and he's got like the sunglasses, and he's just like not even like like welder glasses. He just has a pair of like aviators.
Was there a point to the design of it at all or anything? Was there something a little
yes,
more?
actually.
Yeah, that I just maybe just missed. I was curious about that.
It was a reference to something.
Yeah, it's a reference. The plot, no, but the reference, I think it's Celtic Frost is the band that their F and Frost is that shape of that X.
Oh, okay, cool.
Does it have two handles? Does it have that cutout handle on the right?
I don't know,
because that looks more like some Klingon shit to me, and I don't even like Star Trek. That's that. I think that's some Klingon shit, dude.
But so Johnny, you said you really liked it. You're
surprisingly
usually like you don't like the slow paced artsy films. So like the first
it's not
half or
necessarily
so.
that's not necessarily true. So like from what I've told you before, if there's not good character arc and the dialogue is lacking in every area, then you're very right.
Okay.
Then I'm very bored. Yeah, I mean, the first half definitely. I mean, I agree with Seth. It moved much slower. It was definitely not a sloth pace, but it was much slower. I liked the second half better, but I still enjoyed the first half.
I feel like this movie kind of rewards you for like sitting through the first
a little bit, because you get to finally you get to go on the trip with him to his realization of he's like, okay, now it's a classic revenge gore fest film, and let's go to work. Okay, let's pop some heads, bust some skulls.
Let's be honest. The reward is the appearance of Bill Duke. Okay,
of course, that's what I was really getting at. So
just about the hour mark.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe this is unpopular, but I liked the first half. I don't.
I liked it too.
I just thought it was slower.
I don't even think it was that slow in the fact that, I mean, if there was, like you said, there was no dialogue, there's no build up. I agree, but I mean, like the dialogue, okay, yeah, it was like a little corny, but I mean, the cinematography and the music was letting you really get attached to these characters.
Oh, yeah.
Like when they're talking about like the planets, you had that soft pink lighting, like showing the passion between these characters, or when she's telling the story about the starlings, you had that blue that conveyed the sadness. I didn't think it was that slow, honestly. Maybe that's just me.
I agree with you. I didn't really say that I felt like it was too much of a slog or anything like that. I mean, it's slower than the action beats of the later half for sure. I mean, that's just a fact. But I wasn't bored by it, I'd say. Like it stopped me and caught my interest. Like,
a lot of people were.
Yeah.
A lot of the people who claim to have hated the movie, that's usually the critique that they give, is that it's just too slow, too boring.
Yeah, and I want to clarify that I wasn't saying that the first half of this movie didn't have character arc or the.
You didn't say that at all. I'm saying I agree with you.
Yeah. But when you were watching it, was there any point where you were like, okay, this is going on a little too long? I'm starting to get bored.
It was a pretty good runtime. I think it's sufficed.
Yeah, I think the runtime was probably perfect.
Yeah.
Did anybody else find themselves zoning out and having to rewind it and watch a scene over again to remember what was going on? That happened. I swear, when she first gets dosed with acid and she's and Jeremiah goes on his little speech, I had to rewind that shit like 6 times.
That speech went on a little too long, and the flipping of the faces. Like I love the trick they were doing, but it kind of zoned me out too. I agree.
It induced other thoughts. It induced me to think about life instead of escape from it.
Well, that's the point. I guess they got exactly what they wanted from me.
Yeah. No. I really think that's what it.
And yeah, the scene where it shows his face and then morphs into her face, and then it's his face again. Not only is that just a cool effect, and they're both tripping on acid. So, but I think like kind of the reason for that is that they're showing that he's stripping her of just like her own identity, and he like with the acid and the stain, and so or at least that's their goal, is to like remove her identity from her and then put his own, like substitute his own in there.
See, I
And
thought that was a throwback to the Starling story where she saw her father, who she sees as a reflection of herself, because it's your father killing these Starlings, doing evil things, and then she looks into Jeremiah's eyes and she sees her reflection back at her again, and he's
Mhm.
doing quite metaphorically the same thing, killing Starlings, right? Getting
Yeah.
these innocent kids and dosing them with acid and then sacrificing them to a bunch of meth head bikers.
Mhm. What did y'all think about Jeremiah?
Well acted.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
very well
sure.
done. Very Charles Manson-esque.
I'm glad to know that I can tell everyone that I saw Batman's dad's dick, and that it's uncircumcised.
Exclusive
So,
sneak peek.
yeah, I got the exclusive sneak peek. So every time that I go back and watch Batman Begins and see that scene, I'll be like, I know what your dick looks like, sir.
I
Right.
really like the part where he was quoting Blue Velvet when he's like, "Don't fucking look at me."
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was definitely a reference to that for sure.
I definitely like
Yeah,
a lot of the references in this movie.
yeah,
That's for sure.
I love that he's so like powerful, and he's commanding this whole room of his followers that will do anything. Like he even talks down to them, like that one lady. He's just so mean to her, and then the other girl, he makes her like play Russian roulette to show her love to him. He's so powerful, but as soon as somebody else just like completely just laughs at him, he loses his mind. He's such a huge narcissist with a huge ego, but he just like he's so at the same time on the inside he's so frail and fragile, and then at the end he's just talking shit to Nic Cage, to Red, and as soon as he like steps up, he's like, "Oh no, please don't kill me, I'll suck your dick."
Yeah, I wrote that down in my notes. Like he said, SYD, like
Yeah. And so like I love that dynamic that of this character who he just on the outside he's super powerful, and he has all these followers, he'll do anything for them, but then once that like you see through that he's nothing, he's so little, and just he's just
I mean, that's like any real life cult leader if you really want to get into it. Like,
Probably,
they just did a really good job with that overall.
Yep, I'd agree, and I think that's a good point to make too, because he does make that point that he's upset because she laughs at him, and he seems to take it meaning that like her love for Nic Cage is more powerful than what he can do to her with the drugs. So that's why he has the girl do Russian roulette in front of his face to show that look how much they all love me. Like he needs that validation of his.
And Nic Cage didn't even do anything to him. Yeah.
No, I thought he was good. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of great elements here, but I think it's just when you look at the bigger picture for me, like I would have liked to have seen more of the lean in on the religious cult. But I get it. They were all high, and this was more of a Manson, I guess, thing. That
he did call them Jesus freaks by name.
Yeah,
exactly. So
it's like, what are you hunting for? Jesus freaks. I didn't know they were in season.
And I was hoping to see
that's good line.
More of a dismantling of that kind of belief, and when he comes through and just starts murdering.
Yeah,
them,
I mean,
really
there's a little bit. There's a little bit in what I just explained, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
There is, but like it's at the end point, I would have loved to seen like maybe you see him talking about his God, and like you almost see from his vision him as this like this behemoth strong person, and you see this little guy dismantle him. He can't do anything because his religion is nonsense. And so like that, I don't know, some stuff like that, they could have still had fun with those visual aspects, but like played with that concept. And I don't know, it would have been a little more interesting for me.
He was in Rome, so he did as they did, and he said, "I am your God," and he became the cult leader.
Yeah, that would have been cool if instead of like killing all of them, if they just start worshiping, like he leaves them alive and they start worshiping him.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been that bad either. That's actually kind of interesting.
Twist.
Yeah.
Yeah. He left one of them alive. He left the girl that played the Russian roulette because she was the only one that wasn't enjoying the murder of Mandy. because all the others they were like really getting into it.
Yeah,
She was like Mandy 1.0. You know,
Yeah,
like she was the Mandy from the last town over.
yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the one who didn't laugh.
Yep.
And then, all right, let's talk about the bikers. The demonic bikers. I love these guys.
You mean
Speaking of
Hellraiser?
Yeah,
I was about to say, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I was about to say, is Pinhead in this movie? Like, like those
Yeah.
flashing lights.
Yeah, that's the guy who he ran over in his car.
Yeah, well, copyrights off a lot of franchises.
And Bill Duke even said, like, they were in so much pain, but they loved it.
Yeah, yeah. He calls them the Black Skulls, I believe.
Yep.
So like the
That's
idea is that they were just like this crazy motorcycle gang that just came out of nowhere. And the chemist, he gave them like a special type of acid that just completely changed them and turned them into animals.
That's a great origin story.
And you can just call them with a dog whistle, apparently.
The ocarina of time out there.
Yeah.
It feels like they kind of like he does the call and they just like ascend from hell, basically.
No, they live in a shack like
ascend from
a
hell
mile
in
into the woods.
Don't forget that.
Yeah. Now here's the thing is that what I really like about them, so they're these demonic bikers that are like in this armor and shit from hell and everything. There's another movie, and I know at least a couple of you know what movie this is. Another movie that also has demonic bikers from hell, armored.
Boy, I'd love to see that, Ian.
All right. Well, here it is right here.
It's too scary. Can you stop it?
Get him. There you go. Okay. Take out the trash, baby.
Over there.
You don't even need to ask me. Oh, why are you killing those guys? They didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Because that's what they do.
Wow, that is excessive.
That's very elaborate. That's
Yeah, speaking of someone who's gotten tattooed on the back of the knee, I do not want to get it sliced. It's a nasty
Bill
place.
staff.
So they also know Kung Fu?
Hell yeah.
Are these the zombie robots we were talking about earlier?
I hope so. They should bite them all.
This is where at the outbreak at the hospital. It makes sense.
They got the viruses. Computer virus.
We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful wizard of Oz. Dorothy, get up. We got places to
They've got an MO here.
Yeah.
Wow.
So does anybody know what movie that is?
No.
I haven't seen
That's Hobo with a Shotgun.
that. Oh,
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I've only seen part of Hobo with a Shotgun. I didn't finish that movie.
Yeah. This is in the third act. Yeah. That's the plague where the hobo's doing too much damage in the city, and by
That's
damage
right. He's doing too much
killing
vigilante
pedophiles
justice.
and pimps and
Yeah.
drug dealers and shit.
Right.
So the bad guy, he's like called the plague, and
mayor's son or something.
These bikers, like demonic armored bikers from hell, and it's like so. And that they pretty much the hobos in that hospital, and they're just like killing their way to get to them. And so when I saw Mandy, I was like, oh, "This is very similar."
You know what else is similar to that? Fast and the Furious 7.
Oh yeah, I have not seen it.
There's a scene in that movie where Jason Statham is talking to his brother in the hospital, and he's like, "I'm gonna get revenge for you," and then like everything looks fine, and then the camera pans out, and he's done destroyed the entire hospital getting to the room where his brother's at.
Oh,
and all you
okay.
see is just wreckage and destruction all throughout. As
That's
the
exactly
camera
what we
pans
just
out.
watched.
So it's kind of like that, but they did the aftermath of it. It's funny.
Man.
I
Well,
hate
you
that
know,
we just compared Fast and Furious 7 to anything we're watching.
Well, you're fucking welcome.
A
You
hobo
brought
with
me
a
on this
shotgun.
show. Blame Ian over there.
yeah. Blame me. He's pointing at me, not Ian. He's pointing at
Yeah.
Ian.
There's a lot of Ians, to be fair.
Yeah.
Ian.
But no, I think there's Ian. I see where you're coming from. That yeah, I can see the similarities. All black,
But yeah,
kicking
Fast Furious
ass.
7. I get it.
But there's one thing that they're, we're gonna leave Vin Diesel out of this. But there's one thing that they were missing.
The Rock.
Family.
That Mandy
Yeah,
had,
family.
and that's the pure squishiness. Every time those guys moved, it felt like they were like that acid just made them squish.
Yeah.
You know?
I know what you mean. Yeah, they had this like organic armor.
Yeah, but there was somebody in a sound booth doing
and a
like,
spiked dildo too.
Yeah, what's it called, like audio overlay or whatever? Post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Squishing,
hobo
like,
with the
spaghetti
shotgun,
in a
they're
bucket.
more like the more like traditional armor. And also in hobo with shotgun, it's revealed that they also took down Jesus and Joan of Arc.
I will like to say that I, as a spokesperson now for Nike, I appreciate that shirt is gone. I was afraid I'd have
For
to
now,
start doing some legal
it might
action.
be back.
If it comes back, we might have a discussion. So,
there's also another movie with a demonic biker who comes straight from hell.
Biker
Hell Rider or the Ghost Rider.
Oh no.
Oh well, yeah, true. Another Nic Cage
I'm not
film.
wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all connected.
I wasn't thinking about that, but no, you're correct. Yeah,
That'd have been a good reference, actually. Like he was the bad guy.
That would be good for later when we talk about.
This is the origins of Ghost Rider.
Actually, Ghost Rider is a prequel to
Fast and Furious 7.
No. Drive Angry, where Nic Cage comes
Oh.
back from hell a third time and to rescue Amber Heard. And,
from shitting in the bed.
This right here is a
lot.
This is a live mask of Nicolas Cage prop screen used in Drive Angry, and they flip a car. That shit turned upside down. So you got Nic Cage sitting on the couch back there, waiting to be cast in one of my main productions.
Fast and Furious 10. Yeah.
You see my couch, my casting couch.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
I got
there
Nick,
it is.
I got Nic Cage on the couch.
The dolphin painting.
The dolphin.
Hey, Flipper was my first client. All right, and you saw how things worked out for them.
That's right.
Come on.
But anyway, like I was saying, that there's another movie with a demonic hell biker. Yeah, I didn't think about Ghost Rider, but another one that also has Nic Cage in the movie, a little movie called Raising Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was demonic in that.
Yeah, the biker. Remember, he it says that he has a dream of the biker that comes straight from hell, and it shows him like shooting a bunny, and like when he rides his bike, there's like flames left behind. Yeah,
I honestly just remember John Goodman breaking out of prison, and then the baby kidnapping scene.
You should rewatch it.
I have it on VHS. I will.
That there is a biker that comes straight from hell that is just like the bikers and Mandy. That is just like the bikers and Hobo with a shotgun.
And thank you.
Yes.
I got Ghost Rider.
Can we all agree that John Goodman looks great with that like curly 50s haircut though?
Yes.
Yeah,
I do agree with that.
Come on.
But what else about Mandy? I've got this scene right here.
Also, was that video on the TV just looped?
Yeah.
I love his facial expressions during these fights. Just reminds me of Bruce Campbell.
I think in this movie,
Yeah,
more
it
than
does.
others.
Yeah.
Well, his face being red with blood helps emphasize the white teeth.
Mm-hmm.
I think they purposely didn't put any blood on the teeth. You know.
Yeah, true.
Got to show he's still handsome after all.
Also, that he doesn't smile when he kills. He's very serious, but he only smiles afterwards, right?
He's a very pretty man.
Yeah. And then there's the scene behind me here where at the very end when he kills Jeremiah and his cult and then he gets in the car and he looks over and he sees Mandy and she's just smiling there.
Mhm.
And then it's pretty much hallucination. This is what you see, is just this insanity, right?
Yeah, how do you keep his eyes from getting bloody too? Like you squint him real hard. Does that work?
It's how like in every zombie movie where they mutilate zombies, blood's everywhere, but just somehow they don't ingest enough to turn into one, I guess.
They're saying he turned into a hippie if he
Not in
drank
the
any of that blood.
eyes, not in the mouth. It's all protected.
All right.
Now, I was
go
going to
ahead.
ask a question. I was going to
Yeah.
say, I kind of mentioned before that there's like heavy references to like other movies throughout this. Kind of mentioned Blue Velvet. Kind of talked about that.
Uh-huh.
We have Ghoulies with Cheddar Goblins. What were some of the other references that you guys really liked? I know you obviously, Ian, have a particular one involving chainsaws.
Yeah. I was actually going to bring that up and ask you about it.
Or how the turns have tabled.
Oh yeah.
Right, yeah. Yes, the one that she's referring to, that they definitely reference Texas Chainsaw Massacre, not one but two. Also a Dennis Hopper one, like Blue Velvet.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a scene in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 where, of course, it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Chainsaw's in the name, and you have Leatherface with a chainsaw, and so you have Dennis Hopper who plays this character Lefty, who he wants to go fight Leatherface, and he's trying to get in the mind of the killer. So he goes to a chainsaw dealer and tries out all these different chainsaws.
Wait. Is that where you go if you want to get buzzed?
Wow. Wow.
That's a professional.
Right. And so he's like, it's kind of like in Pulp Fiction where he's in the pawn shop and he's like, picks up the hammer. It's like, this'll work. Oh, wait, no. There's a baseball bat. This'll work. Oh, hey, a chainsaw. Oh, wait, a sword. And it's like that, but they're all chainsaws. And so he's like, this chainsaw will work. No, this chainsaw will work. And then there's like this big, huge lawn one. It's like, yeah, I'm taking that. And then so in Mandy, we see the chainsaw fight. And I love the reveal of the lawn chainsaw. He's like, I got this chainsaw. And the other guy is just like, oh, yeah, check this out. And then he picks up chainsaw and you're like, oh, shit, he's got a chainsaw. We're going to have a chainsaw fight. But then he's like, drags it out and you see how long it is.
Yeah.
And man, that was dope.
You know what that makes me think of? I don't know why. I just got the visual of in '89 Batman when the Joker pulls out the very long pistol to shoot.
It was kind of a similar reveal. Like you see the pistol, and you're like, okay, cool.
It just keeps coming out.
I don't know what he's gonna do with that pistol against that fucking airplane, but and then
yeah, that just made me think of that.
Yeah.
Man, I really enjoyed that fight scene, especially how Nic Cage really worked well on the inside to use the short blade to his advantage of his seemingly inferior chainsaw. But when the blades dropped and the LSD meth monster biker guy said like, oh shit, let me pick up the short one, that he was kicking my ass with the short one. Now I can win. And Nic Cage was like, oh, now I have the long one, and he fucking you stayed away and used that shit like a pro, picking him apart from the outside.
Not the biker, but the cult guy, the hippie.
Was it a hippie guy with the chainsaw?
Yeah.
So why are these bikers hanging out with these hippies? I think that's another question.
Well, no, they're not. They called the hippies. I don't know why they're even there. They
never really explained it.
The hippies had a dog whistle. That was it.
Yeah, they didn't need them at all.
Dude, you think it's some Soylent Green shit where like the hippies bring people that they sacrifice to them and they use the people
exactly.
to make the super acid?
Let me explain. So they call them. They're like, we need this girl, so we need these bikers to get her for us, which they didn't really need to at all, but they did. So they use the whistle. The guys come, and then he hands them the jar of acid, and they're like, we need you to do something. And they're like, blood for blood. So yeah, that's no problem. So they sacrifice one of their own in order for them to get Mandy. And
Oh, you're right. So the bikers don't make the acid. The bikers
no,
get the
no,
acid
the
from
bikers
hippies.
get exactly.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
It,
the
you know,
chemi-
it's hard to follow. You really got to think
Yeah,
out loud.
Richard Brake, who is the guy who kills Thomas Wayne in Batman Begins. He's also in a bunch of Rob Zombie movies. He's the chemist. He makes the acid. He works. He's not with the hippies, but he like works with them. So like when Nic Cage comes and he sees them, he's like, "Fuck, they messed you up bad." They're over here.
Yeah. Go north.
Yeah, exactly.
They did you wrong, man.
Yeah, yeah. So like he's just kind of neutral, but like they buy the acid from them, and then they give the acid to the bikers, the Black Skulls, and so they say blood for blood. So they're like, okay. So then the bikers they get Mandy, just pretty much take her out of bed. That's all they do. And then they're like, all right, have the fat kid, and then just give.
So
Go ahead.
since the acid dealer pointed the direction to where the cult leader was, isn't he technically responsible for his death? So not only did he cause his death in Batman Begins, but he caused it in this movie too.
Fuck you, Thomas Wayne.
Yeah.
This is like a multiverse.
You get what
Yeah.
you fucking deserve.
This
I
in the
got you in 2
multiverse,
universes.
Batman's
Yeah.
dad is doing this. In
Yeah.
another universe, he's rich billionaire who.
There's got to be another. There's got to be a third.
Either way, he's a cult leader.
Do you think the cult leader also has a son named Bruce Wayne?
Wayne
Like
Bruce.
the end credits, if you stay to the end, you just see Bruce. Like, where's my dad?
Oh,
No, but I like you bring
that
that up.
would make a good sequel.
But the end
And-
credits themselves were great because it was the first time in the film where everything just went silent, and you're just like, oh shit! It gives you that oh shit, and juxtaposed with the opening credits where it's just like a beautiful but yet melancholic, solemn forest. Then you're listening to King Crimson while dudes cut down trees.
Yeah, I love the King Crimson song.
Oh, it's great intro. Great intro.
Yeah. And then and we find out that this is 1983 because when he's driving home, you hear Ronald Reagan on the radio, and he's like, "Turn that shit off."
Yeah, something about abortion too. I think.
Yeah,
I'm sure it was like an abortion speech, and I too I wrote down that the words from that speech. I was going to look it up, but then it also has the cut scene where it says like 1983, haha, in case you couldn't figure it out. So I feel like they led too many breadcrumbs there.
which it is interesting because his other film Beyond the Black Rainbow also takes place in 1983. And this is like a year that I think is real significant to the director. He was a kid.
Yeah, how old is he? How old was he in 1983? He's probably like 12, right?
Possibly younger, maybe around that age.
Like some formative year, right?
Yeah, and apparently he already had like the ideas of Mandy and Beyond the Black Rainbow in his head. He was just like, these are the movies I'm going to make one day. And around, I guess 1983, he decided that. So he made good on his promise.
He was born in 74, so he was 9 years old in 83. So I'd say it's a formative year.
Big director. I mean, yeah, you kind of have your mindset on probably doing movies.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And he's really good. We said earlier, it's very different from Tombstone.
Yeah.
And like every way you could imagine.
I can't think of a way that they're similar. I mean, there's people in both movies. So things happen. You know, they speak English. So
yeah.
You know.
But there's some revenge that goes on.
People die.
Why'd you have such a hard time remembering the name of that movie? Was it because you were tombstoned?
I wish I could say yes.
I mean,
that's a good one,
sir. That's awesome.
I've literally been sitting on that one for about an hour. All right.
Well, you know what? Paid off. Congrats.
Yeah.
All right.
Right there.
Well, I guess does anybody else have anything you want to bring up? Oh, actually, no. SpectreVision. Let's go back to SpectreVision.
Yeah, let's dive into that real quick.
So
Production house.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like we said, it's Elijah Wood's production company. Everybody, if you say, Elijah Wood, everybody will think, oh, The Hobbit, or not The Hobbit, but he's the Hobbit in Lord of the Rings.
Frodo
Frodo.
Baggins.
It's like a little old Frodo, and that's really like all you really know about him. But if you follow his movies after that, they're all horror movies. Like, I mean, Sin City is not really a horror movie, but his character in Sin City is very horrific. And then he was in a movie where he plays a serial killer shortly after that. And
The Good Son was a horror movie.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, it was technically.
I mean, it's about a murderous child.
Yeah, what was he, 7 or 8 when he did that?
Right.
9? I don't know.
And
the same year as the director was the year this movie was based in. How about that?
Oh,
How about that?
Oh, boom. Coincidence? I think
another
not.
connection.
That's
right. He just had a movie come out a couple years ago that was kind of a horror movie, slightly. Kind of. He finds out that his dad is like a serial killer and it's actually not his dad, but that's kind of spoiler. What's it called? It's like,
come on, man. Gonna keep
the name
spoiling
of the
movies. The third movie got spoiled. This whole
really
thing.
after Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, I watched like season 1 of Wilfred, or Wilford.
Oh,
him and
yeah.
Andrew Dog on FX. Yeah. That went for a couple of years, but it's like I was talking about earlier. I felt like he had peaked around Lord of the Rings. He peaked really early, and he's Elijah Wood. He has 1 or 2 types of characters he's going to get stereotyped into, and that's it. And so that's what I was saying. I think it was a really good move on his part to invest in his own production company to become a director. Oh, he's the creative director of the company, so he's the EP on every project that rolls out. So smart move on his part.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're all really good movies too.
I've only seen the two Nic Cage ones, so I will have to dive into it a little bit. I'd love to, what were
he
what
did Cooties, which he was actually in that movie too. Like most of them, he's not in. Cooties, he was, and that was an early SpectreVision film.
Yeah.
It's about zombie. It's a zombie apocalypse movie, but it's only like it's kids. Like only kids get affected, and adults don't. So it's like, so that's why it's called Cooties, because
that's clever.
So like only kids are zombies, and so it's just like all these all these teachers in a school. They're like, what the fuck's going on?
Oh gosh.
What was
500 kids?
What was that one? What is it? Manic, I think. Is that the movie? Is that the name of
Maybe.
it? Or Maniac. Maybe it's Maniac.
Oh, Maniac. That's a serial killer one.
That was that his too? Like in this production?
No, this is way before SpectreVision.
Oh, okay.
They only been around what, 12 years? About 11?
Yeah, something like it's relatively pretty recent.
But this is the one that did that superhero one that we
together,
right?
I was gonna bring up so last year on my old podcast, you joined for that. And we did Arch Enemy. It's Arch Enemy came out probably about 2.5 years after Mandy did. And that's that one wasn't really as well noticed as Mandy or Color Out of Space. That one, nobody really knew about it. Like when Mandy and Color Out of Space came out, by word of mouth, they were just instant cult classics. But Arch Enemy, nobody really knew it existed.
Part of that is probably because Nic Cage does carry weight on getting that stuff.
That's probably it. And Nic Cage was actually supposed to be the superhero in Arch Enemy.
I don't know what's his name. I think he didn't he play in the Arrow TV show? He was the villain in that of the seasons. Deathstroke. He was Deathstroke.
And he was also Flash
Joe
Thompson
Manganiello or something.
That's right.
He played Flash Thompson in Spider-Man.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, early on.
Yeah, he did a great job. I'm glad.
He did good. He did good, but his name's not gonna get that. Not like Nic Cage.
He does have somewhat of a cult following, but very little. I really enjoyed Arch Enemy. A lot of people didn't, or not a
I thought
lot.
it was-
A lot of people haven't seen it.
I'd say when we reviewed it, I think everybody was pretty positive. I think Renee joined me for that one. Who's
Yeah, he
also
did.
one of my co-hosts on the my podcast. So I mean, I want to say we were all pretty positive on it.
Was that a so bad it's good, or was it just straight up a genuinely good film?
It was good. It was definitely
Yeah.
a different take on a superhero type movie.
Mhm.
You know, it still has the superhero beats. And I think that's the one. Even Paul Scheer had a really interesting.
Yeah, I
character in
loved
that.
his part.
Yeah, so it was actually a pretty decent watch.
Yeah, but basically, like the gist of it is, it's a
It even had
superhero.
those color palettes and like
Ye-
even comic scenes in it, like how this movie did. And they had
Yeah,
a bit of that too.
right. Yeah, it was probably the same animator.
Mhm.
Yeah, and yeah, that's the thing that SpectreVision does, is that a lot of their movies, they have like not necessarily that animation, but the color palettes.
Mhm.
Like
Daniel
Mandy
isn't
is
real.
like the
Yeah.
biggest one. Yeah, Daniel isn't real. Had that. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mandy is definitely the biggest, most intense one. Color out of space with that like really crazy pink light. And but Arch Enemy is probably like the third in that line of big, huge neon colored lights. But yeah, the gist is it's a superhero from like a comic book dimension kind of thing, who is so powerful he punches through time and space and creates like a wormhole or like a black hole, and then travels into the our dimension. And then he loses all of his powers and just lives as a hobo on the street for 15 years. He's like, I'm a superhero. And everybody's like, yeah, right, whatever. And he loses all of his powers and everything.
It does play up like you don't know if he's actually lying or not, because he's telling the story and he's saying this stuff. And at the end, there's a reveal if it's true or not. We won't spoil this one, I guess. But there is a reveal about that, but it does play up this idea: is he just a crazy person, or is he actually? Because there's little things that happen throughout the movie that are like, maybe he's not just crazy, or maybe he just is a drug addict. Like it's kind of one of those.
There's a part where he does a bunch of meth, and then he's like, I'm a fucking super.
Yeah.
He just kind of goes Punisher. He kind of he goes from Superman to becoming like meth head Punisher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I recommend that movie. I recommend most SpectreVision movies. There's another Nic Cage movie. I don't think it's SpectreVision. This one confuses me. It's The Prisoner of Ghostland. It came out.
That is not
It's not
SpectreVision.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, but like the thing is that it says the producer of Mandy and Color Out of Space.
It
Like,
might
if
have
you watch the trailer.
It might have been a singular producer that just happened to
I
be the
guess
guy
so.
that he might be the a lot of times you'll see these A-list actors, they'll tag team with like one or two creative producers or directors. Like that's the first person that they bring a project to if they find one.
Because that is how they sold the movie. It's like, if you like Mandy and Color Out of Space, like check this movie out.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, it's not SpectreVision, Ian.
Duh, man.
Dumbass.
I see him too. What was the Wonderland movie that he did?
Willy's
Wonderland.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
Not
I enjoyed that
SpectreVision.
I still
No,
haven't
that's
seen
good.
that one, actually.
What?
That was hilarious.
I
It's
know.
great.
I laughed my ass off.
But we
I
were
love
originally
it.
gonna have that be the first episode on this show.
Well, you know
Yeah.
what they did with that one too is they held him back from being Crazy Nick. He was
They
like,
did. Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
don't
What
do
was he-
Crazy
what-
Nick.
What was he eating every time he'd go to the pinball machine on his breaks?
It was a
What-
soda.
He was a
The
soda. It was
grape
like
soda.
some kind of drink.
Grape,
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
grape
yeah.
soda. That's right. Okay.
Hey,
yeah.
guys. All right, I don't know how deep y'all consider spoilers to be spoilers, but if I get like an inkling of a plot line before I can see the movie, actually, I think that takes away part of my own sense of discovery. So I'd really appreciate. I know we're going on a bunch of a tangent of a bunch of different movies, but can we please get back to Mandy? I think it deserves our full undivided attention.
It really does, because I've been holding on to this. Like it's like if you have to like pee for a long time and you're just holding it in like all day, and then you finally get to like this is my release.
I can't do that. Because if I take like 2 steps, I will pee myself. So I don't get to experience that joy anymore.
Yeah, Ian, she's pregnant. What's your excuse? Fucking this guy pisses more than my grandpa's cocker spaniel. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Anyway, Mandy.
Back to Mandy, guys.
Mandy. What haven't we talked about?
Oh,
We-
why
we
isn't the
talked-
song "Mandy" by Barry
Yes!
Manilow in this? Did anybody else expect it? I expected it.
It just doesn't fit the theme, man.
It would be the perfect.
Now, if they
credit
covered it, if they got a
Yeah.
doom metal band to cover it,
Yeah.
that would be
That would have been
would've
dope.
cool.
Yeah, add some synth in there. Yeah.
All right, who's got the best singing voice? And tell me, how do you think that might sound?
Oh God.
Johnny has.
Not me.
Johnny has a
I need to
list.
play. I need to play the song Mandy again. To can
It
you
goes,
sing
"Oh,
the
man,
chorus?
We'll do
you
that for
came
the
and you
That's right.
Well,
Let me.
And
I'll
the
listen.
cult
to it
took
again.
you away, oh Mandy. And
But you got to do a
came
metal
back and-
voice, Johnny.
Hey,
Can't
give
just
it to
sing it.
give
right.
it to Ian. Give it to
Yeah,
Ian.
Ian probably remembers it off the top of his
You're
head.
killing it.
No, I don't. No, you know. When you came and you gave what you wanted.
There you
You know,
go.
some little death in there, you know.
Hey man,
I
you better drop a new
Wait,
album.
wait.
Mosh into that.
actually, hold on.
I can't do the high screams very well anymore. I'm too old. Can anybody do the high screams?
Not
No.
anymore. Not since
No,
my
no.
balls dropped.
No old
When I
metalcore
see it,
kids.
All right, now do it.
Oh, Mandy, when you came and you said that you loved me, but they took you away. Kind of fits. It really does fit, dude. I know it's about his
Yeah.
dog or whatever, but
Well,
it fits.
anyway, is there anything that I mean? We pretty much covered the movie.
Yep. sounds about it.
wait, Bree, did you say Cheddar Goblin earlier? And I think I missed it.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for not picking up on that.
Oh
'cause
no, good.
That was such a great commercial. Like,
Yeah,
I
that was
loved
great.
it. It just a goblin literally throwing up mac and cheese on children.
Oh,
Like,
Yeah, that
Yeah.
shit was amazing. I laughed at that one. That was
Actually,
great.
now check this out. On New Year's, not this past New Year's, but the one before 2021, when we were like balls deep in the pandemic and like nobody was like doing parties or anything, Alamo Draft House, they kind of took advantage of this and they did a live stream of Mandy on New Year's 2021, and it was hosted by Cheddar Goblin.
hell yeah.
So pretty much what you do is you go to the Alamo website and you buy a ticket like you would normally do for a theater, but it's live stream. So it gives you a code so you can watch the movie live stream, and then and it gives you like a little like kind of video game map of Alamo Draft House, and you go and like chat with other people and stuff, and it was pretty cool. And then they're like, okay, at 10 o'clock the movie starts, and then it was, like I said, hosted by Cheddar Goblin, and it was like the Goblin from the commercial was like, hey, what's up? Here's the movie and stuff, and which was pretty cool. When Arch Enemy came out, they did a very similar thing where it was like that live stream thing with the same thing, but like the director and the actor, the Joe Manganiello or whatever, that they were like doing a Q&A online. It was really cool. So like SpectreVision and Alamo Draft House are working together, which makes sense.
That's cool.
Because they're both based in Austin.
Yeah.
So yeah,
SpectreVision's out of LA.
oh, is it? Well, Elijah Wood lives in Austin.
Does he have a place there? I can see that. Yeah.
You gonna break into his house when you get your new job, Ian?
You know it.
Dude, give me the ring, dude. I'm sure he's got a prop ring in there somewhere, man. Give me that shit.
He probably does. You know, if you like film a movie, you get to keep like props and shit.
Yeah, dude.
One
to
well, anyway, let's move on to, now that we're an hour and a half into this, let's move on to the next segment where we do the sequels, the prequels, the remakes, usually, you know, that's what we do. Since Seth, you come from your podcast where you talk about video games and comics and stuff, I gave you a special
I got one for you.
Okay, which is, if you can make Mandy a video game, what would that video game be like?
Well, it would. It'll probably get banned.
I love how you start with that.
But are y'all familiar with Postal?
The movie?
Yes.
No,
Well,
the video game where
The video
The
game.
postal service worker goes postal and kills all the. That was the first
No,
one, right?
not exactly. You play as the dude.
Well,
It's more in lane of like that concept of going postal and shooting everybody. So the first game, you're going through and you're killing all these monsters and stuff like that. And then what you realize at the end of the game, spoiler, is you realize that you're actually insane, and all these like demons and stuff like that you've been killing were actually like kids in a school and
Yeah.
like, you know, other shit like that. It's really fucked up. And it is kind of like an interesting look at insanity in that sense, in a very you know, exaggerated way. So my idea would be you're a member of the drug cult, and you would go around and you would be on acid, and so everybody would look like monsters or like people you'd have to kill, and you would collect their blood for acid making from the machinist, and you would also kidnap women and bring them to the cult for, you know, nasty stuff, good stuff, fun stuff, whatever you want to call it,
to expand their minds, dude.
yeah.
Come
And
on.
also
Did you not see the movie?
yeah, we're just gonna expand their minds in other parts of them.
That would be great if we found out this whole time Seth never watched the movie.
Yeah, never watched it. You caught me. But yeah, so you would play as a cult member who would have to go and help build the cult, gather more women, and collect blood from people, victims you kill. And in your mind, you're thinking, you're looking and like, oh, these are bad people. You're doing this. You're saving these women, and you're beating these monsters. And actually, you're just killing random people. You find out at the end you've been on acid the whole time, and all these women are slaves. And like, it's just the ending of the game is horrific as fuck. You just been doing the worst shit possible. And of course, the last boss you have to fight is Nic Cage. So it's a twist on it for sure. Like, it's not exactly mold into it, but like you end up trying to kidnap Mandy and have to fight Nic Cage at the end. So
nice.
That's
cool. Nice.
Mad
I
unsettling,
like that.
dog.
Oh yeah, like I said, it might get banned. Dude, what?
I don't know. That's like nothing compared to like GTA and shit.
Well, on PC games, well, it depends. Like, so PC games, they let you do almost whatever. There was a game on PC called Hatred.
Oh,
you know about that, right?
Yeah, the controversy. Yeah.
What about JFK Reloaded? Remember that one?
No, I don't.
No.
It was a game in like 2002 or something. You download and you played as the guy who assassinated JFK, and you had to, like, if there was a promotion, like if you could recreate the exact trajectory and of the bullet that killed him, then they'd give you like $1 million or something.
Okay, CIA.
Yeah.
Not gonna catch you on this time.
Oh yeah, definitely like a MK Ultra, you know, but on the digital side. Like let's try to find the most advanced mouse clicker and put him to work as a drone flyer. You know, that was real. They did that.
Or they're trying to find the actual shooter.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, he got it right. Arrest him.
Hey, the call's coming from inside the house. Okay. Come on. But yeah, I like your video game, man. I would personally, I would want to see it like as a Guitar Hero game. I want to play Mandy Guitar Hero Edition.
That would be the worst.
Just one button, dude. I can drink a beer while I'm playing.
Yeah, you just hit one button, just hold it for like 5 minutes, and then
That's like the equivalent of doing tequila for karaoke. You say one word like every couple minutes. You play one note every couple minutes.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. We're all slackers here.
At least people will play my game.
Who else has something? Or Seth, do you also have a movie idea?
I told you already. Mine already came up. We find out that Bruce Wayne. And this is like the dark multiverse. And
dude, way to plant that. Way to plant that early. I like that.
Yeah, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He knew he had one answer. He couldn't answer them both, so he hid the first answer earlier. So he still got away with both.
Hey
answers.
man, I knocked it out the park. So y'all go ahead.
A true professional.
Let's see what you got. Yeah.
Oh, you want to hear my idea for a sequel?
Yeah, I do. Yes.
All right. So we got to follow the origins of the children of the New Dawn, and it starts out with a Jeremiah as a child. Okay. and he's growing up, and we're gonna model this after the life of God, somebody help me out here. The guy from Waco. What was his name?
Oh, damn it.
David
Yeah.
Koresh.
David Koresh.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
So we're
I know a little too much. Sorry.
No. I had it. It was on the tip of the back of my tongue. So we were gonna model it after David Koresh. So he's coming up as like a Seventh-day Adventist, and you see like his trajectory where people are like, oh, he has visions, he sees things, and then slowly he starts developing a following as he gets older, and then we see him meeting up with the biker gangs. We see like the biker gangs are actually his like old childhood friends who he went to like church with, but they ended up going down the wrong side of the track, and then they I get we you can follow it from there.
I think you got to add in something though, because like he's getting a following, right? But something's got to happen in it to actually disrupt that, because when we meet him in this movie, he has like 4 people as his followers. Like he doesn't really have a following.
I thought that was because that's how many people you can fit in a van. Like that's why they
maybe that's why limitations.
That's why they sacrificed the dude that looked like a grown version of the kid from Bad Santa, right?
Yeah. It's exactly.
They sacrificed him because there was not going to be a seat for the woman that he wanted to kidnap on the bus.
Billy Bob Thornton wasn't anywhere around, so you definitely can get rid of that kid.
dude, what if that's the start of Bad Santa 3? And it's just like, it's Billy Bob saving that kid's life. He's like, you fucking dumbass. Come on. Let's go make some money, rob a bank.
That'd be great.
Bad Santa 3, dude. Write it down.
That's it just starts with that exact same frame for frame.
So Ian, my answer is my answer is Bad Santa 3.
You got to give me co-writing for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Who's next?
Okay.
I can go ahead, Bree. Go, please.
Okay. All right. So I got 2. One is just kind of like goofy and didn't require any thought, and then the second one's a little more serious.
Okay.
So the goofy one, one of my favorite prompts is take any movie and replace everybody but one character with Muppets. So obviously Nic Cage is the only human. Everybody else is a Muppet.
Obviously.
Obviously.
Fair enough.
But my serious one is I want to know more about like the Black Skulls. I'd like to know more of an origin story, except add kind of like a more paranormal twist to them instead of they're just hopped up on super LSD. So I guess that could maybe go into like part of a remake as well, like explore their origins, like why did they specifically come to this one small town near Crystal Lake is what they called it. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
like,
that was another reference. Yeah,
yeah.
I keep forgetting about that.
And so I'd like to know more about like why did they converge on this one extremely small town, and how did they gain what ideally would be their paranormal powers? Like, did they make a pact with the devil? Is that why they actually require human blood? Because I wanted to see them like drinking fucking human blood, like be actual fucking demonic. So I'd like to see a prequel with that.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. That would be great. Do you have any other ideas other than that, or
no?
No. All right. Well, I agree. That would be great. Johnny.
So mine's more in the veil of Mandy is definitely an intricate part of the world of the film, but I thought it'd be kind of cool to maybe focus on Specter Vision and the making of the company, Elijah Wood's transition from where he was at to that. But here's where Mandy comes in. So we kind of see it's an origin story. We see kind of like the veil of the disaster artist a little bit. We come through, 8 years later from the inception of the company, and they're making Mandy, and we're going through the whole process. And Nicolas Cage's performance in the restroom when he breaks down and all that opens people's eyes to, they're like, oh, Nic Cage is back. This guy might actually be able to act with some good direction and not an absurdist, insane script. Maybe we can make something out of this. So after that, they come in and they create a sequel to Mandy, which is just about the guy's life afterwards. I don't have the details on that particular film, but that gives him more credit. Then Spike Jonze jumps into the picture and resurrects Being John Malkovich basically, and does a Nic Cage version of it. And it's basically Nic Cage playing himself, watching himself win an Oscar. While in real life, it's his performance of a lifetime, and he wins a fucking Oscar. So it's 3 levels of Inception, I guess, whatever. And he actually does win it. So hopefully he would win the Oscar for a movie that he won an Oscar in the movie, which would be awesome. And so all these things are just, they're going amazing. You know, the third, his third act is going great. Specter Vision's doing really well. And then it's just a close-up shot of Elijah Wood's eyes, and they open, and you see that it's Frodo Baggins. And he's buck-ass naked in bed with just a little lambskin on him. And he turns over, Samwise, buck-ass naked in bed right next to him, turns over, and he's like, what's wrong, Mr. Frodo? Everything all right? And he just, puts his hand on Sam's face, and he goes, I just had the craziest dream. And credits.
Wow.
That's it. I figured you'd like that one, Ian, since every single one of your fucking jokes on Facebook is that.
Yeah. Dude, Being John Malkovich is like in my top 10 favorite movies.
I would love to see them remake it with Nicolas Cage being the John Malkovich.
You know what's really
okay? Wait, Johnny, who's the director?
Spike Jonze. He did Her and Being John Malkovich.
Adaptation.
That's not
which Spike. Is Nic Cage movie, by the way.
Wait, that's not Spike. Is Johns not Jones?
It's Johns, yeah.
Joneze. He produced all the Jackass movies.
Yeah, and like a bunch of music video, like Fat Boy Slim. and shit.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Are you sure? Sure? Am I thinking of a different person? Is it not Spike?
No, you're right.
The same names.
You are correct. Yes, you are.
Is it Johns or Jones? Because I'm about to shoot myself.
It's Jonze.
Yeah, Jones.
He pronounces it Johns.
Wait, okay. All right, wait. All right. So when I search on Google how to pronounce Spike Jonze, this is what it says.
I always thought it was Jones myself.
You heard that?
Google knows nothing.
How is that spelled?
Jonze.
Oh, okay. In every interview he's ever been in, I've heard him being introduced as Spike Jonze.
I mean, in the making of the music video, behind the music video shoot MTV show that used to be on, remember those? Mm-hmm. Making the music video or whatever?
Sure.
I saw one with Spike Jonze. It says Spike in my head, in my memory. I'm just trying to figure out this Mandela or this is something.
No, you are right. It is the guy. You just.
I'm sorry, I have to harp on that.
Somebody's wrong. Google's got to be right, so we'll just.
Google said Jones.
Anyways, regardless of how you pronounce it, that would be the guy to direct the new
He did
film.
Charlie's Angels, right?
No,
I don't know if
he didn't do that one. No.
I
just attribute anything that looks like that to Spike.
But he did Being John Malkovich. He did Adaptation. He did Her. He did Jackass.
Freaky movie.
And he did a bunch of music videos.
Yeah, just what a great track record.
Yeah, he's had a.
All right, now who's getting off track and not on Mandy now?
Yeah, for
okay,
real.
sir. Ian, sir.
Dude, the Johns thing blew my mind. If it was actually Johns, I was gonna fucking just leave right now and go lay down in my bed and stare at the ceiling. If it was Johns, that you just rocked my fucking universe. If it's Johns,
crazy.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm yours, Ian.
I'm sorry. You had a great answer that was well thought out. I'm really sorry for derailing off of it.
You're totally you didn't take away. It was
though, Johnny, that makes me think, like, what interactions has Elijah Woods and Nic Cage had? Like, what would their interactions
It's a great question, Bree. They're both really odd people. I would feel they kind of just they breathe that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it would be. Any takers? I don't know. Awkward, maybe. I mean, it would be a weird conversation that would probably get off track pretty easily.
I like this.
Nic Cage does the crazy, and I think that Elijah Woods definitely plays more of a toned down, serious role. I don't think they match the crazy. So
he's just done some weird fucking films.
Yeah, they're just weird.
Yeah,
well, living in New Orleans, I've heard a lot of secondhand. I saw Nic Cage at a bar one time, and stories.
I've heard that too.
And it's always like he says some wild shit, or he does some wild shit, or he it's never a quiet night with Nic Cage. And he has his tomb here. He's already paid for it. It's about 2 mausoleums away from where my mom's buried in St. Louis cemetery. and it's a giant pyramid. So I think
No
he,
shit.
I think he really bought into that national treasure shit.
Probably.
Um,
Did you
no-
have do you have a sequel or a prequel in mind, Ian? Because I have a sequel in mind.
me or
You already
we
said
I'm
mine,
asking
it's
you
good.
because everybody
Yeah.
said a prequel, and I had an idea for the sequel.
You go ahead.
Okay, yeah, easy. Nic Cage becomes a cult leader himself after the whole
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah,
he's hooked
exactly.
on
Yeah,
stuff, and he becomes a cult leader himself and builds his own cult.
I think Ian said that
Alright.
earlier, right?
Yeah, we did. We did.
You
We
did.
did go on that. Yeah.
Oh, I
No,
didn't
you-
hear you say that one. My bad.
Well, we were like, what if he left all the other people alive and then they all worship him?
Well, no, mine's different. He kills everybody. It's the same thing but different. But he ends up recreating his own cult because he's addicted on the drug.
Yeah,
like he's
Ian.
starting to take that drug. So he didn't keep everybody alive. He still kills everyone. It's a direct sequel to this one.
Yeah, Ian. Yours goes da-na-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na-na, and his goes da-na-na-na-na-na,
Yeah, exactly that. It's the same thing.
All
Totally
right, I have one. A series of movies, not a TV show, television series, but a series of movies in which Mandy is the third of in this franchise. The fourth one, I'll get to the first two later, but the fourth one picks up right where Mandy left off. It's probably a different director, but so where Mandy leaves off, he kills Jeremiah, he kills the cult, gets in his car, he's just driving through the woods and looks to the side of him. He sees Mandy, and then she's like kind of in his imagination, but he's just driving. So my movie would be the next one right after that. It would be the fourth in the series, and he's continuing driving, but he just drives straight into hell. And then he drives through like flames are coming up, and then he sees all the people that he killed along the way in the past movie, and then he meets the devil, and the devil's like, you have killed the Black Skulls, aka the plague, and when you kill them, I guess none of you have seen Hobo with a Shotgun, or at least the end of Hobo with a Shotgun. What happens when you kill the plague, you become one of them. And so it's the same thing because they're the same people. So also, since he took that acid, like now he killed them and he took the acid, so he totally becomes one of them. So he kind of falls into the footsteps of Kiss. He's a knight in Satan's service. And I'll try to wrap this up because we've been going on for a while.
So Ghost Rider.
Yeah, exactly. It is Ghost Rider, but
It's Ghost Rider, and maybe he sees the devil and comes back and becomes an evangelist preacher.
This would be the third series of universe of movies where he'd go to hell and come back to avenge something.
Yeah, well, he's not avenging anything. And this movie, by the way, is called Abby. It's not Mandy, it's Abby, and Abby is the name of the sex worker in Hobo with a Shotgun who killed one of the members of the plague and became one of them herself. So he teams up with her, and they're like doing missions.
I thought I told you about
people.
This. Goddamn! I told about spoiling them. Goddamn.
Anyway, so they're working together as the plague, as the Black Skulls. They're like being called to go out and like kill somebody, capture somebody, and everything. And then he decides. He finds out that like Mandy is like her soul is in hell, so he like goes off course, and Abby comes with him, and they just like go into hell and just like kill all the demons, all the other plagues, all the other Black Skulls, up until they reach Mandy, and he brings her with her. But at the end, it finds out that like she is dead, so he can't bring her with her. It's pretty much the story of it's the Greek mythology, the story of Orpheus, I think is his name. And so there you go. So the first So, like I said, this is the third one. The second one is Hope with a Shotgun. The first one is Raising Arizona.
So the
Nice.
dream was a prophesizing of himself.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay,
I
okay.
think that would be cool. You blend them all together, and then at the end they are the things, but they
But
like fight again, and then at the end he kills Satan,
but
but
he
he's still unable to save Mandy.
but he can't take Mandy with her, just like Macaulay Culkin couldn't take Christina Ricci with her when he was Casper,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, man.
Yeah, so that would be Abby because Abby's with him. Anyway, so that's the end of this episode. Let's rate it now. Let's make it kind of quick because it's kind of going on for a while, and I know some of y'all have to go kind of soon. I love this movie. It's 10 out of 10 fucking fat kids that are sacrificed. There you go. Seth, what do you got?
I'll give it a 7. Yeah, 7 out of 10 snorts of cocaine off of some glass. Yeah.
Sweet. Bree.
I will also give it a 7. A 7 loops of the same porn gif on the TV.
All right. Ian, Colt.
All right, so like you said earlier at the beginning of this episode, I've been on a lot of episodes recently, and if you've kept track of my ratings, I've not yet given any movie a perfect 10, but that's changing today because today I'm giving Mandy 10. Lead singer of Aviary, who looks just like Jeremiah's, out of 10.
Oh wow. And that's so 80s. It's just like this.
It's this one right here. If you can't tell, this is.
I can tell.
A true hairband.
I can tell.
Yeah, that's Aviary for you.
Sweet.
Yeah,
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Like I thought that you would. I wanted to bring you into this because I thought you would really enjoy it.
I did enjoy it, and like I said, I enjoyed it more when I realized it was meant to be listened to as an album as opposed to viewed as a movie.
All right, cool. I invite you to watch Beyond the Black Rainbow and tell me how you feel about that.
Yeah, I invite you to suck my dick. What about that, Ian?
Boom.
Somebody who I do not invite to watch Black Rainbow because I know he'll hate it is Johnny. You will hate that movie.
Probably safe to assume that. No, on this one, everything was pretty solid. There wasn't a ton of there weren't a ton of glaring weaknesses. The soundtrack, you know me, I'm not a giant fan of any type of like heavy metal or electronica. I'll listen to it, but it's not my favorite. But it worked perfectly for this film. I mean, I couldn't think of another genre that would have worked better. So I'd give it a 7 out of 10 too. I'd give it 7 times. I would have gone back to rewatch seeing Pinhead. Big Hellraiser fan. I don't know. I don't have a good one today.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
But like kind of good.
Appreciate it.
Best one.
All right, cool. Well, thanks everybody for joining. That'll do it for this episode of Colin Trash Horror Movie Grind. Next week, we are doing a movie called Tokyo Gore Police.
Oh, nice.
Has anybody seen that movie before? Bree, have you seen it?
I have not, but I've seen enough of it from the group that I have an idea.
Yeah, I bet you have. Somebody tell me what the plot is based on the title.
Following a recent assassination of former Prime Minister of Japan, a group of sub-aquatic transdermal special agents seeks to out the destroyer, which was to the public revealed to be a normal man who had a personal infraction with the prime minister, but in fact is actually a secret cohort of Tokyo underground Yakuza crime syndicates that fight for the rights of every man.
You missed the joke. You should have said it was Hideo Kojima because that's been a real thing trending.
Yeah. Also, there's a Metal Gear in there somewhere.
Yeah,
there's a full size Metal Gear.
People said that the assassination was performed by Hideo Kojima.
Wow.
Where they had to make a statement
To any
You did not
to,
assassinate them.
and to anyone who played Metal Gear Solid 2 to its completion, that makes complete sense. So there you go. And that's what I think your next movie's about. All right.
There you go. I'm with
you
this
pretty
guy.
much nailed it.
I'm
To
with
be
you on
honest.
that one. We're good.
All right. Well, yeah. So we'll check in next week to see what that's about. See how close he was. Check out Seth on Who's Next podcast. I was kind of. The funny thing is that like Johnny and Jacob and Ian, they all come from. Jacob's not here, but he was last time. They all come from podcasts that are on hiatus, and the funny thing is your podcast was also on hiatus. So I just got a bunch of hiatus podcasts on the show.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Yep.
Oops.
Got to feed the fixins. Yeah? Feed the
Mine's
urge.
back though. We just released an episode.
Oh, okay.
This one with Kev. And I'm recording again this Saturday night. The guys are coming by to do a movie one. So we still split up 1 games, 1 movie. So we're kind of back in it. I'm also streaming Sammy Savage 88. I've been doing some Ninja Gaiden and Like a Dragon. So
Are you still doing hard mode only?
yeah. I'm doing Ninja Gaiden on the hardest difficulty right now.
One
Nice.
hit kills, man.
The original
So-
Xbox One, the one, not the old NES one, not yet at least. I'll probably go back to that.
Yeah, if you're on Facebook, there's a group that Seth created called Hard Mode Only, where he like streams, and not just him, but other people stream playing video games on the hardest mode. And, yeah.
I need to kind of bring that back around again. It's been a little dormant recently, especially with the move and everything. It's just been been a bit.
Right.
Now things are getting back to normal, so I'm trying to get back. And then I got a job that's giving me a little more time, so I think I might be able to get a little more going on.
And we were talking about. I'm not sure exactly if I'm going to do it or not, but I was thinking about doing Tank Girl, and I was thinking about bringing you in for that.
Yeah, you bring me on that. That'd be cool.
Cool, because that's a comic book movie. Yeah, so that's up your alley.
And it's crazy that all these podcasts are on hiatus because Ian is a stoned asshole, so he's a high anus.
I'm kind of
fucking professional. I respect the shit out of you right now.
Come on, man. Come on. Clap it. End it on that. Come on. Where can we go?
Well,
from here?
I still have to plug more people.
They don't
All
get
right.
plugged. This joke is too good. Only I get the plugs.
Another show that's on hiatus is This Is Where You Die.
Yes.
Bree's new show on Infamous War, which is the same show. What's up with that? Are you coming back anytime soon?
Yes. Now that I have finally moved into my new place, now that I'm finally back from my vacation, and hopefully soon I will finally leave my first trimester and not be throwing up every 30 minutes. My sister and I will be returning. We're gonna ask Seth to join us since you are into gaming. It's easy fix. We've got a couple guests lined up and a couple games lined up, ready to go.
Nice.
And you're streaming through YouTube, Twitch?
No. So I could actually use StreamYard. So what I do is like I can just share a screen and just be like, okay, check this out, and then I show this screen. Whatever I'm playing at the time.
Here.
Yeah, just something like that. Obviously, really exciting.
That is a great screen.
Yeah, really interesting video game. But the point being, like, I can stream, I can still talk on here, and then we just interact while we play the game. And since it's horror games, like specifically, I'm not good at them because I get easily scared. My sister is way better at them, and then depending on the guest, they'll either be a weenie like me or good at them like her. But
on the other side, like her, I actually do pretty well. I play a lot of horror games, and I do them on the hardest difficulty. So yeah, like
this dude out here collecting red herbs and shit, dude.
Yeah. So last game we did was Phasmophobia, and so during that, like we were streaming that, and then my sister kept dying, unfortunately. But we were talking about like our ghost experiences, so we definitely want to do a part 2 and hear more ghost stories from other people. So
I got a demon possession story. So yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah, definitely get you on for that.
I caught a British ghost in a laptop once, but we'll save that for another episode.
Oh shit!
True story.
But yeah, sorry to go off there, but we will be returning for sure.
Sweet.
We'll be returning.
And Johnny on I Don't Give a Flick. How's that going?
Yeah, well, actually, your Batman episode that you were on drops Monday, so we're coming back
Oh,
to
okay.
in a couple days.
This episode will come out about a month.
Well, either way, so for people listening in the future, we have an episode on the Batman series, so go check it out. Batman franchise, go check it out.
No, I'll definitely check that out, man.
Yeah. Do you guys touch on Thomas Wayne's dick in it at all? Because
Should.
His death we
well,
do.
no. Here's the thing: we haven't done
we have part 2 still.
We only did part 1, which is all the campy shit.
So much info.
That's interesting because when Thomas Wayne goes number 1, he uses his dick. Which I think we talked about.
So now we have something to talk about in the future. Because you still want to talk about the other Batman movies, right?
Yeah, we're talking.
Okay.
So if you're doing Batman stuff, if you need a guest, I'm always down to talk Batman. My podcast is way too much about Batman.
He has done a lot of Batman. Batman is in his intro song.
Yeah, I read a lot of the comics. I read the comics. I've watched the shows, the movies. I go deep on it. So.
Did you cut your jib on George Clooney's nipples?
I did.
Yeah, he's a real fan here. This guy.
I got a nick on my ball sack from it.
Yeah, dude. Better than a Robin, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, so that'll do it for this episode of Call Trash Horror Movie Grind. Check out next week when we do Tokyo Ghost Police, and check out all these other people's fresh out of hiatus podcasts. Sweet. All right.
Are we doing a Patreon or we're just
we will? Yeah.
Okay.
Give us money. Check out Patreon.
Yeah. If you care enough, if you care about human beings and none of us have jobs. None of us have actual jobs. This is all we do, and we're all starving.
I work for Nike.
So. No, none of us have jobs.
Yeah, we've already established Seth is a representative from Nike. So job out of the group.
And my uncle works for Adidas. You don't see me running around with a pair of shoes on.
Adidas.
Okay? Yeah, that's how they pronounce it in Boston. All right. Tell me this. What do you? How much is the Patreon, Ian? Tell me how much
I actually don't know.
It's only it's $1. It's the price of a cup of coffee.
Cheaper than a pair of Nikes.
Cheaper than a tank of gas.
That's right.
Cheaper than what it would cost to feed the children that make Seth's Nikes. You could watch us continue to just fucking,
those children also make your iPhone, so don't get that twisted.
Hell yeah! And for the price of 1/2000th of an iPhone, you can listen to us bullshit for another 15 to 20 minutes.
Exactly.
Come on back, Patreon.
Garbage day! Huh? No!